at you. Welcome, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by for a video that's very, 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 very exciting for me, being a Terror at Tenkiller fan. Basically, last year, 2022, it was rumored that VCI was going to put out a new 4K restoration of this in October. October came and went, and that never happened. And then there was buzz on Blu-ray.com that Vinegar Syndrome was going to actually do the 4K restoration of Terror at Tenkiller, and obviously that was great news to us fans. We'd much rather have Vinegar Syndrome do it than VCI. I don't know how old this news is, but I recently learned of this news. Basically, from what I understand, on July 25th, they're gonna release a 4K Ultra HD / Blu-ray release of Terror at Tenkiller. Here you've got the exclusive slipcover, whatever the hell they do. Vinegar Syndrome always has their exclusive slipcover stuff. I'll probably just get this just because. Obviously, we've got that character, one of the main characters there, and the killer coming out behind the water. Really kind of cool. Maybe she's a little more sexy in this image than she is in the movie. Don't get me wrong, she's sexy in the movie as well. I've reviewed the movie years and years ago. Terror at Tenkiller has been a guilty pleasure of mine since probably I discovered it in 2004. But here's the cover of the exclusive limited slip cover artwork on the front, and I'm assuming very appropriately this is the back cover. This is the other chick that is just about to get sliced and diced. But as you can see here, we've got some screenshots of the new 4K remaster of Terror at Tenkiller. I mean, obviously this is going to look absolutely amazing as we just kind of scroll through. There's Lake Tenkiller, whatever the hell it's called, as we scroll through these images. Very grateful that Vinegar Syndrome did it versus VCI. There's the two quote-unquote babes in all their babylicious glory. I'm much more partial to the one in the pink, personally. There's Denise, or no, that's no, that's not Denise. That's someone else. I can't remember her name. She asks if when you come into the diner, she's like, "You want a menu?" But that's some other chick. I forgot what her name is right now. There's a very romantic scene there, but here's something happening there as well. And ooh la la, that's really lovely. But there you go. There's what's his name? Is that supposed to be Preacher out there? I think it's Preacher out there fishing or whatever. I ain't got no car. I got that little old boat out there. It does me just fine. That's another romantic shot. If you want romance, there's romance. But that's a really cool shot. Another amazing shot. But yeah, this is just going to look absolutely amazing. As we can see here, very luckily, it's going to be presented in its original aspect ratio of 1:3:3. We've got a 2-disc region free set, 4K Ultra HD, and a Blu-ray. Obviously, I don't even have 4K, but I will be watching the Blu-ray. We've got 4K UHD presented in high dynamic range, newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 16mm original camera negative. Brand new commentary with director/editor Kevin, is it Mayer, and actor Mike Willis. 2 weeks of terror, making of Terror at Tenkiller, a brand new making of documentary featuring interviews with the cast and crew, Terror and Tenkiller behind the scenes footage with optimal commentary track by actor/editor Kevin Mayer and actor Mike, whatever the hell his last name is. I swear, these last names. Multiple original trailers. And you can see this other stuff as well that really isn't have anything to do with the movie, it looks like. Before I end this video, I just wanted to comment on something that's going to be a little controversial for us longtime Terror at Tenkiller fans. I sampled the little Vinegar Syndrome trailer that they got going on, and I was kind of surprised. And this is kind of a good thing and kind of a bad thing. I guess I'd lean mostly towards bad. It's a really, really unique situation that hasn't really popped up before in all of my collecting of like new Blu-ray releases of old slasher, genre titles and stuff, where we've got a really unique situation with Terror at Tenkiller. Let me just go backwards a little bit, back to the 80s and VHS. So basically, I've got the original North American VHS of this movie, and the movie is basically all ADR. Like, the dialogue is all replaced. It doesn't feature, I don't think, any of the dialogue that was recorded on set. Later on, I got the DVD that they put out with the double feature with The Last Slumber Party or something, and that is also the same thing with complete ADR movie from beginning to end. And that's the way I've always watched, experienced Terror at Tenkiller. And if you've actually seen on it, maybe I saw this either on another VHS or maybe on YouTube, but if you look at the Terror at Tenkiller trailer, the dialogue in the movie is not the ADR dialogue. It's actually dialogue recorded on the set. So my assumption is that up until now, that maybe the some of the dialogue was crappy, some of the on-set audio recording was crappy, and they just decided to ADR the whole movie. But now, if you look at the Vinegar Syndrome trailer on YouTube, it's basically the movie, the beautiful, pristine new transfer with, from what I can tell, the actual recorded on location dialogue versus the ADR that everyone probably is familiar with, that is a fan of this movie and that's been watching it for the past several decades. So what we have here is a situation where, at least, as far as I know, this might be the very first time the actual audio recorded on set for all the scenes version is released, which, like I say, is kind of a good and bad thing. Now, the reason I say it's bad and mostly bad is because when you look at the trailer, the Vinegar Syndrome trailer, if you're familiar with the ADR version on the VHS and the DVD double feature thing, you're very much aware that, like, the performances and the dialogue recorded on set are kind of subpar and lack any real, like, I don't know, they're boring. It's almost like they're saying the lines knowing that they're going to ADR it later without any, inflection or care in how they say the lines. So I don't know if they ADR'd it because the acting and the delivery of the lines on set was so shitty that they wanted to improve it. I'm not exactly sure why the hell they replaced all the dialogue, but one thing I do know is, obviously, I know pretty much by heart, or I have the dialogue as it is, as it's always been experienced in my head pretty well. So then when you go to watch this trailer with the same dialogue, only it's recorded, it's, on the set when they're filming versus later on ADR, it's like a lot of the lines are just subpar, and it just feels like this is a really, I've never, in all my movie, fandom and everything, I've never experienced anything like this, where a movie's had this one version of a soundtrack, and then later on, decades later, they're going to put out a new, 4K/Blu-ray version of it, and the ADR version that you're used to is going to be replaced by the dialogue recorded on set, which is, like, as far as I know, has never even been officially released. So, I mean, it's kind of cool to be able to hear it for the first time, but if it's all going to be like it is in the trailer, where a lot of the dialogue is just subpar compared to the version I'm used to, ADR, it's going to be a little bit of a bummer. In a perfect world, they'd release they'd have two audio track options, one with the ADR version that I think most of us are familiar with, and then the other one would be the original recorded dialogue. So from what I can understand, most likely, unless we're surprised with a wonderful surprise, this version, from what they're showing in the trailer, might only feature the basically unheard, never before heard movie with the dialogue recorded on set versus the version we've heard for decades, which is the ADR version. So it presents a very, very weird problem, and it's going to be a bummer, I guess. And if the ADR version isn't included, and it's just going to be like, God damn it, it's going to be one of those situations where, okay, I feel like watching Terror at Tenkiller. Do I want to watch the version with the pristine image and the goofy-ass sound with just the crappy, I mean, the ADR versions, the acting's crappy too, but I just think that a lot of the dialogue that we hear in the trailer, Vinegar Syndrome trailer, is even just crappier than the ADR version. So it's going to be a little bit of a bummer, and I'm actually quite surprised that Vinegar Syndrome, from what I mean, unless they're going to surprise us or whatever. But like I don't know if they even know about the ADR version or anyway, someone out there obviously probably will, rip the 4K and maybe put the DVD double feature audio onto it with the ADR version or something. Obviously, it's something that someone can actually Frankenstein make themselves, the Vinegar Syndrome transfer with the original audio. But it's just a bummer that Vinegar Syndrome can't do it unless they're going to surprise us with that. But yeah, that's what I wanted to stop on by to say. It's a very, very exciting to see this on Vinegar Syndrome 4K. Obviously, I don't have 4K yet, so I'll be enjoying the Blu-ray. Obviously, I'll stop on by after I see it to do a review of the Blu-ray. And in the meantime, I've reviewed the movie. I think it's like a 30-minute review years and years ago. If you wanted to check out my review at review of Terror at Tenkiller, and I'm sure you can watch the movie, I would imagine, on YouTube if you've never seen it and want to watch the movie. But it's a movie that's been a guilty pleasure for quite a long time, since probably 2004 or 5 for me, and it's great that it's finally coming out on Blu-ray. But again, it's like so it's like the version where you're not really used to, and it's like cool to be able to hear this different, dialogue recorded on set. But if it's gonna be like so much different than what we're used to, it's just a weird situation, so I guess that pretty much does it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and as always, we'll catch you on the next one.